Yo, what's up, everyone? This is Aaron Nance with,
Dr. Jeffrey Foster,
and we are
disturbing
Disturbing
the
the Peace. Here we talk about critical issues related to urban education and minoritized students within the K 12 educational landscape.
Yeah.
And we were going to do a post earlier to recognize a momentous day in the American history and noting the significance of Martin Luther King Jr. and remembrance of him. So we're just going to talk a little about some of the things that transpired during the civil rights movement to kind of honor Martin Luther King. So Dr. Foster, from your experience and from the things that you have read about MLK growing up, what is one of the things that you were able to take away?
Well, a huge thing that I was able to take away is the fact of unity and a sense of peace when there is no peace.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, say that again.
Yeah, a sense of peace when there is no peace.
Okay, philosopher.
Creating the peace.
Yes.
Through the lens of an oppressed group.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That's amazing. One thing I often think about as it relates to MLK, and it's so many things that transpired with the civil rights movements, with the sanitation workers in Memphis, Tennessee, that he went and spoke about, to the Montgomery bus boycott, which cost the city several of millions of dollars because black people stopped riding the bus because of inequality, to the sit-ins at Tennessee, which is where it started, and then it trickled down to Greensboro, and there were sit-ins on all different college campuses, to the walk or the march on Washington from Montgomery, Alabama to Washington, D.C., to the Elman Petrus Bridge, to Bloody Sunday, to just, like you said earlier, about the nonviolent protest, which was an approach by Gandhi. You know, Gandhi really believed in nonviolent protest, and then Henry David Thoreau also wrote a book on civil disobedience, how it was okay to defy certain laws in a peaceful way when they do not serve and protect all citizens of the United States, especially as it goes against the 14th Amendment, which is equal protection under the law.
Yeah.
And then going back to, we always got to go back to Brown versus Board of Education, because Thurgood Marshall represented that court case, the landmark court case, and he often talked about the equal protection clause. But I feel like, well, I don't feel, I know that in every sense imaginable, Martin Luther King had a play of voice and activism within the civil rights movement, within the community, from being cornerstones and like the Baptist churches, to advocating, using his voice, using his art to vocalize and to bring people together, to being one of the great orators and speakers of our nation, of our time.
Yeah. He was a very brilliant individual, and he was definitely beyond his time.
Yes.
And I just think it's amazing that the things that he discussed in a lot of his speeches and his sermons
Yes.
Are still very relevant today, till today.
It is.
Yeah.
Speaking of relevance, what is one quote by Martin Luther King that, I guess, rails you up, or like
Yes.
just speaks to you? What is that one quote that you have?
Well, I am definitely. There's this one quote that just really sticks to me, and I'm gonna read it, and we're gonna have a conversation about it right quick. Okay. The quote is: "The function of education is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. Intelligence plus character, that is the goal of true education.
Ooh, I like that.
Yes.
I like that.
And so I love that quote because it connects to everything that I stand for with my educational philosophy.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
basically, it talks about function. When you think about social theory and functionalism, or whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
education has a specific function. It's supposed to have a specific function. I'm not talking about schooling.
Right.
I'm talking about education.
Right.
And he says the function of education is to teach one to think critically and intensively. And it aligns with Freire's theory on critical literacy and critical theory,
consciousness. Yeah.
critical consciousness.
Yeah.
You thinking critically. That is the goal. The goal of education. To educate is to get one to think critically. And then through with Pablo Freire, he talks about thinking critically through the lens of an oppressed population.
Yeah.
And so you are able to think critically and also intensively. Intense and intentionality is very important. And then he talks about intelligence plus character is the true aspect of education. So he brought in the whole child.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
yes, the whole child.
Yeah.
Like, not just focusing on intelligence, and even though, and there's multiple intelligences,
Yeah.
but character.
Yes.
So, I, as an educator, it is my goal to make sure that we are raising up future globalized citizens that can contribute and advocate for themselves and others. And I feel like that's what Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. meant by that quote. Basically, making sure to educate someone is to encourage them to think critically and have good character and be intelligent and being your unique genius. So that's why I love that quote.
Okay.
Yeah.
When I think about that quote, I'm thinking about the liberation of the mind of the oppressed population.
Yes.
Because I feel like sometimes that we still have a slave mentality because that's the only mentality that we have.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like until we see the change that we want to become, then change doesn't exist. Which is what Dr. Martin Luther King was expressing. In order to change the trajectory of the socioeconomic statuses of the black community, we have to think critically and analytically about the condition that we are in. Until we're able to do that, then we're not able to be liberated. You know, but also teachers who school and not educate are not thinking critically or intensively about the students who they are monopolizing.
Ooh.
Because it continues to be hegemonic practices within the educational system.
And they're positing knowledge and not encouraging students to think on their own and explore and have student voice and think critically.
That's it. And then I'm going to end with this. As our favorite professor, Dr. Wiggin always say, I'm going to veggie back off of you.
Okay.
And I feel like this is a great segue. My quote that I have, again, aligns very well with yours, is nothing in the world is more dangerous than sincere ignorance and conscientized stupidity.
Ooh. Wow. I haven't heard that quote. Wow.
I will say that one more time. Nothing, as it relates to what we were just talking about, right? As it relates to education of the whole child, nothing in the world is more dangerous than sincere ignorance and conscientized stupidity.
Ooh, conscientized stupidity.
Which goes back to Paulo Freire about critical consciousness, right? Yeah, so
Wow, that is deep. That is so deep.
When it's so relevant.
Uh-huh.
When I think about the laws that continues to stricken the voices of those who are oppressed, even as professors, I know Dr. Foster and I have had many conversations, and he were talking about a person on his committee member who says that although that person is a professor, that they still see themselves as a dumb black professor, individual person within a higher educational landscape. So stupidity has no age, it has no face whatsoever. But until we are able to understand our societal differences, then that's the only way we can become intelligent and think intensively about the conditions that continue to strong arm us, which are policies, procedures, people who are in place that make these laws that does not influence or impact the black population or the black and brown population. So ignorance is bliss. And don't get me wrong, if you don't know something, it's okay to say you don't know something instead of acting like you know something, like people within the educational landscape.
Yeah. Wow, so deep. Very, very profound. So those quotes definitely connect very well. And I love how one is like super positive, and then the other one is real.
Yeah.
Combined together.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people want to, get upset with that Martin Luther King Jr. basically was just all about peace and positivity, and people wanted him to be more, what's the word?
A vigilante?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah. Like
more revolutionary?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I love a quote like that. And that's an example of him, speaking some real
knowledge. Yeah.
Some real knowledge.
Exactly.
So I love that. But anyways, I love MLK Day. I didn't get to go to the MLK parade. I love going to the MLK parade. But I didn't get to go this year, but next year I'll definitely be there.
Yeah. Same here. Same here. I know going to the MLK breakfast, which Dr. Frost had an opportunity to experience, not only just to network and be around like-minded individuals, but to get a historical context of the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. As the history continues to be whitewashed, it's very important for us to have a true understanding of a true understanding of the history and the true nature of what Martin Luther King did. Not only just being glorified with the civil rights movement, but also being in the trenches, as well as many other civil rights leaders and activists have did and continue to do in this day and age. So thank you all for joining in. Please like, share, comment, save, repost, subscribe to our podcast. We'll be coming out with our podcast in February, y'all. We cannot wait. We're going to blow your socks off. We're going to blow your socks off. So, like I said, please like, subscribe, follow. Definitely comment. We are data-driven. We like data. So, if you want to connect with us, please connect using our Gmail at disturbingthepeace@gmail.com. We'll be sure to take your inquiries. We can come to your cities wherever you are and just have a real in-depth conversation about education and where we hope to see ourselves as we are leading towards a 21st century learning and globalized society.
Yes.
But until... Say that again?
Well put.
Thank you, Dr. Foster. Until then, this has been another incredible, informative episode with Aaron Nance
and Dr. Jeffrey Foster.
And we are Disturbing the Peace. Peace out, y'all.